started in 2006. And that's when we really brought it on for the public. And ever since then, we've been having wonderful events, whether it was on Arawak Key or even Bay Street. And so we're just so pleased to be able to bring it again this year as a virtual event.
Yeah.
But, you know, we last year, I thought it went well, but this year we're taking it up even another notch. Yeah. So we're trying to give people as much of the same feeling as possible.
But I tell you what, I always loved the Junkanoo in June. Then, of course, June wasn't enough, so you had to make a whole summer out of it. Yes. I remember all of that, just going out there with my kids, and you know, just brought back so much of our culture and heritage, and participating in all of the different activities. It was just really fun times. My goodness, I think we really missed that. But you know,
oh, we certainly do. You know, we love to touch and feel and hug and kiss, but we'll get there.
Yeah, we're going to get back there, but this is the second year you're doing the virtual edition of it. So what can people expect at this year's festival? And just give us a little bit more details about the when and the what. And it's very different. I mean, I must give it to you guys there too. I mean, certainly one of my favorite teams. You're creative, you're certainly resilient, and you just think out of the box.
Yes, we try to be. You have to remain out there in your face. While we promote our Bahamian culture. We need our international viewers as well to be able to see and know that we're still here, and that if and when they do book to come, what would be some of the things that they would be able to participate in. And so this year, it's for 3 Saturdays, beginning this Saturday, which is August 14th. And then 14th, yes, the 14th.
Yeah.
Then we go until August 28th. So that would be 3 Saturdays.
Okay.
And we have some of our usual activities, culinary, mixologists, straw plaiting, bush teas. So people can tune in and learn about the medicinal benefits of all these wonderful bush teas that we have. We have fire dancing, limbo. And so we're trying to make it as real as we possibly can. And of course, you know, there's entertainment. And instead of going with a DJ, we wanted to do it live. So we went into the studio. We have live bands performing, Iris Store, Synergy, Jukebox. Man, look here. We get Lady E, Gino D, Veronica Bishop, and of course, D-Mac. And so we have a host of things lined up for our viewers. And to view it, you go to Tourism Today on our Facebook page.
Okay.
And then there's competition. It's the 5-man competition.
Okay.
A king and queen competition.
Okay.
And a headpiece competition. So the first week we will have the 5-man competition. And so you go on, you view the show, and to vote, you go to bahamas.com/events/Junkanoo.
And all of that connects through the Facebook page. What's the time frame?
Sorry?
The time frame. What?
It starts at 7 p.m.
Okay. All right.
Yes, at 7 p.m. And it's probably going to be about for 45 minutes, maybe. So we have it really action-packed. We didn't want to do it too long because we want to make sure we keep our viewers engaged and asking for more.
Well, I'm sure they're going to be asking for more. My producer's already asking whether or not you're going to be delivering those mixed drinks to the doors. I mean, it's such a tease, man. But this is a full-blown production. I mean, you know.
It certainly is. And being in the studio, recording, it was so great to be able to be there, to see the mixologists, to taste the drinks. They're wonderful. They're easy to make. So you want to tune in and check it out. And then, of course, with the chef, oh my goodness, really great recipes using a lot of the Bahamian ingredients. And so, yeah, it's going to be mouth-watering.
Oh, goodness. It's mouth-watering already. The good part about this is, I imagine once it's on Facebook, even though it's Facebook Live, persons can always go back and watch it again.
Yes.
And
you can also go there to vote. So once the show is aired, the 5-man combo will be on the Facebook page, and persons can go and vote for their favorite team.
It's great. I mean, it's there. It's going to be there forever. It expands the whole reach and the audience of persons who may not have been able to before for travel or whatever time.
Absolutely.
They get to see it. Yeah, they get to see it. Anything else you'd like to share on
No, like I said before, it's important to culture alive. We would have loved to put it on, but we were really so happy that the competent authority and the Ministry of Health allowed us to actually shoot a live Junkanoo.
Yeah.
So as opposed to using footage that we would have had already, we got approval, and it was with the provision that only fully vaccinated Junkanooers could participate. And so we're trying even to drive that message on home to persons to go and get vaccinated.
Listen, if you want to do the Junkanoo, that's a really good incentive right there. And you can't have Junkanoo Summer Festival without the Junkanoo. Right?
The Junkanoo.
All right. So once again, it starts tomorrow, the 14th of August. For the next 3 Saturdays, persons can go to Facebook Tourism Today. Tourism
Today on our Facebook page. And to vote, it's bahamas.com/events/Junkanoo. And I also want to say thank you to the JCNP, Mr. Dion Miller, who really came on board and assisted us in getting the word out to the Junkanoos and getting all the information to them. And he's just been wonderful to work with. And so we have a great partnership moving forward.
All right, excellent stuff. Again, congratulations to all. Charity Armbrister, Director of Events Management at the Bahamas Ministry of Tourism. Thank you once again for being here on Bahamas at Sunrise.
Thank you, Matt.
All right, we'll be right back.
First, it's more than just our name, more than just our achievements. It's our nature, and it's where we put our customers. At Bahamas First, we've refreshed our look, but our nature remains the same. We design insurance solutions that protect our customers from life's uncertainties, whatever they may be. We equip you for the future so that you can recover stronger. Bahamas First, what's first for you comes first for us.
Have you heard about Trinity Christian Schools?
We are a family school located on Trinity Way, Stapleton Gardens. We offer quality Christian education from preschool to grade 6. Here are the reasons why you should choose Trinity Christian Schools.
We offer quality Christian education.
We are a family school.
Our teachers provide individual support.
Our class sizes are small.
We offer a safe and happy environment.
Our teachers are caring and experienced.
Join the Trinity family.
We want you to be a part of the Trinity Christian Schools.
Come join us.
We want you to be a part of our family.
Welcome back to Bahamas at Sunrise. Looking forward to our conversation with Dr. Latina Fitz-Gerald Braithwaite. She's a pediatrician with Doctors Hospital Health Services. And this month is actually National Immunization Awareness Month, a time to highlight the importance of vaccines for people of all ages. And it couldn't come at a better time. Of course, the conversation around vaccines have been particularly interesting as a result of COVID. For parents, even prior to the virus, over the last 20 years, this concern about vaccines has been raised. And so we're looking forward to getting some actual factual answers to our questions this morning. Dr. Fitz-Gerald Braithwaite, good morning and welcome to Bahamas at Sunrise.
Good morning. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to raise awareness on vaccines. It's a very exciting topic for pediatricians, and I'm happy to help spread some informative information.
All right, great. Well, we're happy to have you. This has been a big conversation, as I started out by saying, and as we've had adults having to take the COVID-19 vaccine for the first time, the entire conversation has been going around that we've been taking vaccines for years now, and it's caused us to eliminate some very serious diseases. So let's start by finding out, why is it important for kids to get vaccinated?
So it's important for kids to get vaccinated, multiple reasons, but basically, it gives parents the power to protect their children against serious vaccine preventable diseases such as polio, diphtheria, tetanus. We have the luxury now of disease forgetting. I'm sure you've not seen anybody with polio or paralyzed or diphtheria. However, in the past, persons died from these illnesses. And so because of that, a lot of parents are like, why do I have to vaccinate if it is that we don't see this anymore? We don't see it anymore because all of us are immune to it. But if we now stop vaccinating, then we'll have resurgence of these deadly diseases. So in as little as 5 to 6 doctors' visits, by the time your child is 15 months, they can be protected against 12 diseases. In some countries in the world, children aren't afforded this luxury, and about 6.6 kids die a year, and 3.3 of them are from vaccine preventable diseases. And in the Bahamas, vaccines are free. So clinic visits are free. You go and check your child's growth and development as well as you protect them.
Yeah, no, I mean, hearing those stats, I think is always an eye opener for me, that half of these stats of kids can be prevented if they had the luxury of programs like ours that seek to offer those preventative methods absolutely free of charge. I think the concern for a lot of people is not understanding how vaccines work and what do they do. So can you tell us, what does a vaccine do?
Okay, so how the vaccine works is usually it takes a portion of the organism that's weakened and that can't cause the disease in your body. But what it can do is once the vaccine enters your body, it tells your body, oh my God, this is an invader. We have to learn how to kill this. And during that learning process, you then produce your own little army that stays there, and there's memory of that disease, so that if you become impacted with it, your body's like, hey, we're ready. Guns are blazing. And as soon as you're exposed, the most you would get was minimal or symptoms of the disease, but you won't cause like admission to hospital or death.
Okay. So I know you mentioned that by 15 months, babies are prevented, the vaccines that babies take help to prevent up to about 12 diseases that we could get as a community. What are the crucial immunizations by age, and why is it important to stick to the recommended schedule? And I think that's big, because there was a story about that a couple of years ago about people kind of getting all doses at once when it should have been given on a schedule. So kind of just talk to us about that schedule and how we can kind of make sure that our kids stay on that schedule.
Right, so the schedule is implemented to protect children when they're most at risk. Children's immune systems aren't fully developed until they are about 8 years old. And because of this, you would notice that a child, if they get sick at a very, very young age, that's taken a lot more serious than someone that's older. So we want to protect them as early and as safe as we're able to when they are most at risk. A good way to put this is, if you and I get the stomach bug, we may not be able to go to work for a day or two. But if you have a 4-month-old baby who gets a stomach bug with a lot of vomiting and diarrhea, they can get severely dehydrated. They may need admission to hospital. And in countries where there's no access to that, these children can die. So it's a way to just prevent, your child from having to get these serious and severe illnesses. But it wouldn't make sense to then give this vaccine when your child is 8, and they wouldn't be severely impacted with this disease at that time. So it's really time to protect them when they need it the most.
Okay. And they would tell, like, at your regular pediatrician, or, you know, some people don't have access to their own personal pediatrician, and so they do utilize the government clinics. Should they be paying attention to timeline? Should the doctor very early on, once this baby is born, say, okay, this baby is a week old, and I'm making stuff up because you're the doctor, not me, right? But, you know, this baby needs this immunization shot, and at 4 months, please let the baby come back. At 9 months, like, how should they have that conversation with their doctor to make sure that they're aware of when their baby should be getting new shots?
So first of all, before they leave hospital, we generally let them know when they need to follow up with the doctor. With NHI, you actually do have access to your own personal pediatrician once you sign your child up, and that's free of charge, which is wonderful. But if not, you can go to any of the government clinics, and there is a vaccine schedule, and it's on the Bahamas.gov website, and it tells you at each month what is to be expected. We usually would let them know when the next set of shots are, and their appointments are based on that. And during those visits, we check their growth and their development at that time as well.
Now, are any of these vaccines optional? Can I decide, okay, I'm going to get measles, mumps, and rubella, but I'm not going to get that one over there? Does it work like that?
Well, at the end of the day, as the parent, you are the person that would give us the responsibility to vaccinate your child. The fortunate thing is that in the Bahamas, we don't have a lot of vaccine hesitancy in children, which is wonderful. Most of the schools, though, however, do require your child to be fully immunized before entering, because it then becomes a public health risk to other kids in the school.
Mm-hmm.
So we can't force you to vaccinate. That's really the answer to the question, but we strongly encourage you to. And there would maybe limitations in your child attending a regular school if they don't.
Okay. So we talk about two things there: public health concern, big buzzword right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then this idea of should or should not these children take these vaccines. And you say, you know, it's really not our decision, but certainly you're limited in life if you don't do it. Right. And that kind of brings us back to COVID. We do have to wrap up, but, you know, there's this talk that children might begin to be vaccinated, especially once we receive the Pfizer vaccine in country. And that has been opened up to kids, I think 12 to 19. You know, what are your thoughts on that? And are we seeing more young people presenting with COVID in hospital now?
Okay, so I'll start with the second question. We are seeing more kids being admitted. So in the first 15 months of the pandemic, we had a total of 22 admissions. So remember, kids tend to have more milder symptoms and don't require admission compared to adults. However, based on the increase in numbers overall, we of course would then see an increase in kids admissions. So we had 20 admissions in the first 15 months. And since June, we've now had 22.
Wow.
So you see how that's only 2.5 months range. We've basically had the same amount that we had over 15 months. So we are seeing a rise in the numbers. With regards to the COVID vaccine, so only Pfizer has been approved. I am very excited about it because then we can now offer parents the ability to protect their kids and make them feel safe with their kids going to school, especially in the high school system, you know, that 12 and over bracket. I think you would empower your kids and maybe sleep better at night knowing that they'll be safe in school. Not only that, you limit the spread. And when your kids come home, and if you know you have somebody who can't get the vaccine because they're immunocompromised, the chances of your child spreading it to, let's say, Grammy or your newborn baby would be much less.
Okay. All right. Well, we want to thank you so much for joining us this morning, Dr. Fitz-Gerald Braithwaite. Always a pleasure to talk with you. I always feel like I learn so much whenever we have these conversations. And so thank you for joining us and just reminding us about the importance of vaccinations, period. Not just COVID-19 specific, but making sure that our kids are protected generally. And of course, that protecting the community at large. And so we thank you so much for joining us this morning on Bahamas Sunrise.
Thank you so much for having me. I always love the opportunity to raise awareness to protect our kids.
Thank you. Watching Bahamas at Sunrise. We'll be right back.
Fixed and mobile services provided by Cable Bahamas Business Solutions helps our customers help their customers adapt to the new way of paying for things. Digital wallets makes your transactions faster, more convenient, and secure. Whether it's using a debit card at the grocery store or making online payments for your monthly expenses, digital wallets powered by Cable Bahamas Business Solutions makes it better. For more information on our fixed and mobile services, contact the experts at 601-8911 in Nassau or 602-8811 in the Family Islands.
Doctors Hospital is proud to introduce the Loyalty Advantage Membership Program, or LAMP. LAMP offers medical service discounts to new and existing Doctors Hospital patients. With membership starting as low as $20 per month, LAMP benefits include fee waivers for insured patients, discounts on inpatient and outpatient services, access to free imaging services, and much more. For a full list of benefits or to sign up for LAMP, visit doctorshos.com/LAMP. Doctors Hospital, trusted and best care now. Isn't your health worth?
Car insurance, home insurance, marine insurance, this insurance, that insurance. The truth is, you may not like it very much, but you need insurance, and it has to work for you. That's why Summit insurance policies are designed with you and your life in mind, fitting your lifestyle and needs perfectly. So you can rest comfortably knowing that your car, home, boat, and business are well taken care of. Contact our agents at Insurance Management today. Summit Insurance. We peak above all others.
Summer is here, and Shell presents a summer of fun. Win $30,000 in prizes when you spend $20 in fuel at any Shell location, now through September 10th. Experience incredible hotel stays in the Family Islands and Nassau. Win thousands of dollars in fuel, groceries, and electronic devices. Fuel up today and submit your receipt by WhatsApp, email, and Facebook. Follow us on Facebook for more chances to win with Shell. Terms and conditions apply.
Welcome back to Bahamas at Sunrise. We're at the halfway point on this fabulous Friday. I'm Anastasia Palacios.
And I'm Philip Simon Starr. I went looking for my flag. I couldn't find it. I have so many of those. I couldn't find it this morning. I wanted to be able to, it's probably in the garage somewhere, probably in the garage.
Yeah, probably. If you had one for Independence on the car, then maybe that's exactly where it is. But yeah, man, it's good to be Bahamian, proud to be Bahamian. Always so exciting when we get to celebrate our excellence, and just wanting to, remind us that it doesn't take gold medals for us to do that we can do that every day. We should be able to look around at the people around us, see the impact they're making in their communities, just even transforming their generational lineage, and be able to celebrate that as something to be proud of as well.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, and the best part about it to me is really, ourselves, each other, right? Speaking with persons like Charity down there, the Ministry of Tourism, always doing such an excellent job. And then, of course, with Dr. Braithwaite, incredible. I mean, obviously we're biased, but we certainly believe we're the best little country in the world. And a significant part of that is who we are as people, right?
Indeed it is.
Despite the negativity sometimes that floats around, and sometimes we kind of get at each other's throat a little bit, and all of these different things and the politics.
I think it's because we are people who have such great potential, right? And we have so much power. And I think there is sometimes a stifling air that makes it seem as if we cannot achieve more, that we can't be even greater than we are. And we know that we've got this wonderful capacity. And I think sometimes it fuels some of that negativity, and it fuels some of that frustration. But I want us to be able to channel that fuel into something positive. And I think that's what we do here in Bahamas at Sunrise. So we're going to keep doing our part, and we hope that you keep doing yours.
Yeah, and we've got more to come in the second half. We'll be speaking with Olympic swimmer, Joanna Evans, about her experiences in Tokyo.
Absolutely looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to your conversation with Ed Fields about the work of the National COVID-19 Vaccine Consultative Committee. We're looking forward to learning more about, the various vaccines that we're going to be having here, the age ranges, what's been happening with the website. So many great questions that I'm sure you'll cover in that interview. Before we get to it, let's take a second look at weather with Godfrey Burnside.
Weather at Sunrise, brought to you by Bahamas First. What's first for you comes first for us.
Thank you, Stan. Good morning, Bahamas. In your second look at weather sunrise, Tropical Depression Fred will continue to impact the weather over the island chain as it slowly moves westward along the northern coast of Cuba. At 5 a.m., Tropical Depression Fred was located in latitude 22.0 degrees north, longitude 76.7 degrees west, some 125 miles south-southwest of Great Exuma Island, that is. Max sustained winds at 35 miles per hour. Fred is moving west-northwest at 10 miles per hour. On the present track, Fred will move west of the islands with heavy rains and some breezy conditions through the weekend, particularly the central and southeastern islands this morning, moving into northwest Bahamas by afternoon. We're also watching a small low-pressure system, several hundred miles east of the left Antilles. This system will gradually develop as it approaches the eastern Caribbean by early Sunday morning. The system has a 70% chance of development over the next 5 days. Elsewhere, tropical storm formation expected during the next 5 days. In your marine forecast, winds today east to southeast, starting off 10 to 15 knots, but they're increasing by afternoon 15 to 25 knots of seas, building 5 to 8 feet over the northwest and central Bahamas, 15 to 20 knot seas, 4 to 7 feet over the southeastern islands. On Saturday, they will be southeasterly at 15 to 20 knots, seas 4 to 6 feet over the northwest and central Bahamas, 15 knots seas 2 to 5 feet over the southeastern islands. On Sunday, east to southeast at 10 to 15 knots, sea 2 to 4 feet in northwest and central Bahamas, 15 knots, sea 2 to 5 feet over the southeastern islands. Your tides. Currently have a low tide at 5:55 this morning. Next high tide will be at 8 minutes past midday. Low again this evening at 6:23. Sunset will be at 7:44 this evening, rising at 6:44. UV index 7. Your water temperature 80 degrees Fahrenheit. And the moon phase now moving towards the first quarter. Ash good weekend, still have some impact. We'll have some cloudy skies, breezy conditions with a few showers, isolated thunderstorms through Tuesday. The temperature daytime will be in the upper 80s at daytime, at nighttime in the mid to upper 70s. That puts up your follow good weather at sunrise. I'm Godfrey Burnside. Back to you, Phil.
Thank you very much, Godfrey. The National COVID-19 Vaccine Consultative Committee was formed to advise the Prime Minister and the Ministry of Health on the development of the strategy, policies, and activities related to the National COVID-19 Vaccination Plan. Here to talk with us about their work is Ed Fields. He's the Director of Business Development at Nassau Cruise Port Limited and Deputy Chair of the National COVID-19 Vaccination Consultative Committee. Good morning, Ed. You wear so many hats, man. It's difficult sometimes to keep up with us. One thing that we do know, you are a true Bahamian, man. Welcome back to the show.
Thank you, Phil.
Yeah. So good to see you as well. So the Vaccine Consultative Committee was formed obviously with these directives in mind. Elaborate a little bit about who you are, obviously what you do, and who comprises this committee.
Well, the committee obviously was selected by the Prime Minister to, while I focus on alarms, which, is a whole other story. By the Prime Minister who, sought to assist the Ministry of Health by bringing in, let's just say, skill sets from a wide range of areas to really facilitate, never before, done mammoth effort. So we are made up of a whole range of people: physicians, medical personnel, of course, Ministry of Health personnel, people like Barry Brasson, who was the president of Rotary International, from the volunteer side. It's just a whole range of things. I'm really more involved because of the logistics, experience that I've had for social events, etc. Of course, we had shared by Dr. Marceline Dahl Regis, who is, we're just so very fortunate to have her skill set.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't tell you how fortunate we are. Of course, we have the CMO and a lot of other folks from the Ministry of Health who are involved with the committee as well.
Yeah. Well, we're still in the midst of it, Ed. This week, we're hearing great news that more vaccines are coming in, and we're hoping to roll those out soon. What's top on the agenda right now for the next several weeks or months with the committee?
Well, in the last several months, 6-7 months or so, what we have been really doing is managing supply.
Yeah.
We've had no control. And I can tell you, I wish the public could be, fly on the wall in all of the meetings and efforts and phone calls and emails and, at the very highest level, from the Prime Minister down, with the efforts to secure supply, okay? The logistics of this is not extremely, over the top. I mean, it requires, obviously, setting up vaccination sites, but those can be templated. Those are inanimate scenarios that we can control. It also means a gargantuan effort as it relates to data management. Okay, and given the time constraints that you have from the day that the committee was founded to the time the first batches got here, that's also, as you know, very challenging. But we've managed to do it. In fact, I think we have some of the most advanced systems that exists as it relates to the appointment software and certificate software. Yeah. Then, of course, there's staffing. Right. So that is a huge challenge for us. Our size dictates that we have only so many people with these skill sets in terms of giving vaccinations and medical personnel, et cetera. And every time you open up a site, it means that you have to staff that with those people. Right. Then, of course, let's just add in the most wonderful complication of all, and I don't mean that in a negative way, the family islands, okay? Right. We've got to get to, 15, 20 family islands, sometimes settlements with as little as 40 people or 50 people in them. That's a logistical concern. Yeah. And then finally, as I said, supply. Okay, so we can get past all the things, and when it comes to staffing and supply, that has been an issue. And fortunately, we've been able to eke out staffing, and we've been able to also have the volunteer base that we need. And so our issue has been supply. Yeah. As of yesterday, the supply issue kind of went away. Let's just say, for the sake of argument, is no longer an issue. Right. And that we had 128,000 doses of Pfizer vaccine coming to country. And we have another 280 or so that is scheduled to arrive. So total of 400,000. Now what we're faced with is the fact that we need to distribute this vaccine as soon as possible. That means more sites. That means more staffing. That is further complicated by the fact that we are in a surge. Right. And therefore, the human resources are even stretched thinner. An appeal that I make right now in closing in this segment is for volunteers. We've had volunteers who've been, there from day one. They are fried. Volunteers in this type of environment usually, work a weekend for a barbecue or something. Okay. Right. This is not a barbecue, and it's just going on and on and on, and will go on, in my view, for another 12 months.
Yeah. So so persons who are watching and listening, how can they get involved, and what would be the expectations once they volunteer?
Well, volunteers are required for things like check-in. That is, we're fully digitized. So when you come in, we have to check you in digitally. We have, traffic control. There's a number of activities, that we need per center that we need volunteers for. All the positions are easily trainable. Obviously, if you have check-in, we'd like to have some people who are a little comfortable with the computer, not in terms of computer knowledge when, operating a device. And that means everyone is in the world today is familiar with that. So to get in touch with us or to sign up, please email Barry Rassin at Barry, BARRY, J Rassin, RASSIN @gmail.com, or myself at Tony Fields. That's ETONYFIELDS @gmail.com, and then we can push you through the system.
All right, great. Yeah. All right. So you did indicate that the Pfizer vaccines are here. I think I might have heard something about Johnson & Johnson in the future. Is there a rollout time? I mean, are they available immediately? People can start going online at vax.gov.bs and.
Right. So obviously, when you get a vaccine today, it doesn't mean that you pump it out tomorrow. We got these vaccines yesterday. Now, let me put some myths to the rest. The vaccine will be available for everyone, not just children under a certain age.
Right.
Simple reason being, that's the only vaccine we have.
Okay.
So
Okay.
we can't. We don't have a range of options that would allow for us to be able to say Pfizer only for teenagers and everyone else take X, because there is no X. We are, of course, in the last supply line or supply inventory of AstraZeneca.
Okay.
We mostly are giving those out to second dose people who've done the first dose of AstraZeneca. And let me say, I think, I don't know if I'll be in trouble for saying this, but let me say that we may be in a position where folks who have had a first dose of AstraZeneca may have to get a second dose of Pfizer.
Okay.
Obviously, we'll minimize that to the extent that we can, but the science supports us being able to do that, both at the WHO and at the CDC level. And so there may be some people who get that, okay? Let me also say, we are not promoting or endorsing at this time a third dose, okay? For a number of reasons, but the primary reasons is from a moral perspective.
Okay.
We have people who need a first dose,
right,
okay? We can't be saying to people, come and get a third dose. We've got 60,000 plus people who've already gotten, first doses or second doses, and then they come and take up the supply of first dose. So we are saying to you, if you have had your second dose already, please refrain from attempting to get a third dose. If you want to get a third dose, and I'm not in a position to say yay or nay of what should be done, then go to Florida or wherever it is that and maybe that makes you feel bad. But we are not going to be giving out third doses, okay, at this time. And so what we're hoping is that on Monday or so, we will do some training because we have to set up a center for the Pfizer. We'll probably have 1 or 2 centers that are specifically relegated to Pfizer at this time. And as the 2 weeks go by, and we essentially eat up all of our AstraZeneca supply, we will shift the existing centers to Pfizer as well. So in about 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks, we'd all be doing is administering Pfizer.
All right, definitely.
First Pfizer appointment, and please don't hold me to this because we're still formulating, is probably going to be around Wednesday of next week. Okay. And possibly people will be able to start making appointments around about Monday or Tuesday of next week.
Okay, and they can obviously get all of this information as well from the website.
Yes.
Okay, all right. Ed, thank you.
Can I add one other thing? This is very important. We ask people to go on the website to make appointments. It is very, very important that you make an appointment. Right. We have had issues, obviously, with supply, and as a result, people find it hard to make appointments. Once the Pfizer system is inventory is added to our overall supply chain, you will find it easier to make appointments. There will still be times that you may have to wait a day to get appointments, but there will be appointments available for everyone. And we're asking you, please, at certain sites especially, please do not walk up to those sites without appointments. It creates a big problem for us all.
Yeah, definitely. I've seen that up close. Ed, thank you so much for being here, Deputy Chair of the National COVID-19 Vaccine Consultative Committee. Again, those emails for you and Barry are?
Barry J. Rasson at gmail.com.
Yeah.
And that's in Edward, Tony, Tony, Fields at gmail.com.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. Ed Fields, many hats. Listen, thank you so much for being here on Bahamas at Sunrise.
Thank you, Phil.
All right, great. Watching Bahamas at Sunrise. We'll be right back.
Health is the greatest gift. That's where we come in. Bahamas Medical and Surgical Supplies is a premier distributor of medical equipment, as well as medical and surgical consumables. Our engineers are always on hand, providing top care service that saves lives. We carry a wide selection of over-the-counter and prescription items, IV fluids, and other injections. Our products are state-of-the-art, and our entire team stays on top of cutting-edge technology. With more than 2 decades of dedicated service, Bahamas Medical and Surgical Supplies continues to be a trendsetter and innovator in healthcare. We have set ourselves apart by truly caring for our customers. We understand the intricacies of healthcare, and we produce spectacular results. We cherish our partnerships and nurture our friendships as we continue on our quest to help everyone maintain that wonderful gift of good health. Find us on 9th Fifth Terrace, Centerville, right in the heart of the medical service epicenter of Nassau, Bahamas.
In the years following independence, the Bahamas Development Bank has been there to carry out our mandate of expanding the nation's economy by investing in Bahamians. We have worked with you to grow the biggest dreams from the smallest seeds, to build connections across land and sea. In 40 years, we have done amazing things together. Thank you, but it's time to make a change. Our world is evolving, and so are we. We are moving, looking to the future, shaking up business as usual, adapting to new realities, investing in creativity, innovation, and sustainability to power the possibilities of the new economy, while remaining true to who we are, to meet the needs of tomorrow and to better serve you. We are your development bank. Meet the new BDB. Visit our website at www.bdb.gov.bs today and learn more about how we plan to support economic diversification and expansion.
Welcome back to Bahamas at Sunrise. The Tokyo Olympic Games have ended, and I must admit that I feel really sad about that, to not have my TV on the Olympics all the time. But all good things must come to an end, and we are so proud of Team Bahamas. Joining us from Bahamas Aquatics to talk about her experience at the Games, we're very happy to welcome our flag bearer, Joanna Evans, Bahamian swimmer on this year's Olympic team. Joanna, good morning and welcome to Bahamas at Sunrise.
Thank you.
It's an absolute pleasure to have you with us, Joanna. You know, I never feel old until moments like this. And it's like, oh my gosh, I remember when she was like a little kid running after her brother, and now she's like swimming in the pool. And I never have old moments. This is the first time. But just feeling so excited to talk to you and to learn about your experience in Tokyo. First off, what was it like being the flag bearer at the Olympics?
Listen, that was an honor. I mean, I think a lot of us like sit and watch opening ceremonies as years go by. And obviously as a kid, you're like, oh, well, that's so cool. But it's like people you have no idea and you think it's really cool. But we got there and they announced that I would be flag bearer. And it was really cool. Yes, it was an honor, but it was also good for me to get into the swing of the meet. Like, it's been such a long time because of the coronavirus and everything, it's been such a long time since I've been at a big meet like that. So it was good. Like, hey, you're not just at a pool, like you're swimming at the Olympics kind of thing. So
that is awesome.
That was exciting, especially with Donald.
Yeah. And of course, you know, Donald and I were good schoolmates as well. And it was a joy for me to see these two people who I know just carrying this flag and representing our country. And I just felt so proud of you guys in the moment. This was a new type of Olympic experience for you. You mentioned coronavirus. You mentioned not being able to compete at large meets recently. So what was your experience like at the Olympics itself, given all that's been going on with COVID-19?
I mean, in a number of ways, it was very similar to Rio because, I mean, you're waking up in the morning, you're going to the dining hall, you're getting on buses, you're going to practice. Like, whatever. But I mean, it was a very different atmosphere. Everyone was kind of being careful. And then you'd see somebody that you haven't seen for years that it's like, am I going to give you a hug, or are we going to just hit? Like things like that. And then obviously we were testing regularly, and it was a little bit of paranoia because you didn't want to test positive for yourself, and B, you didn't want to be that person that makes everyone have to quarantine kind of thing. So definitely different vibes. But I think overall, like once you were at the track or at the pool, it was like similar feels, because like you were there to do a job kind of thing. You know, you got to get in your lane and do what you have to do.
Get in your lane and do what you have to do. All right, so let's talk about you getting in that lane then. You did, an amazing performance in both the 200 meter freestyle races. Talk to me about that. What was that experience like? How do you feel about the way you performed? Let me know.
My 400 was first, and ironically, I did exactly what I did 5 years ago. I swam in this, like a heat 2, and I was second in that heat, and I ended up 13th, which unfortunately in those longer events you have to be top 8. They don't do semis, they go straight to final. So 13th usually would make semis, but unfortunately I missed out on the finals on that. And then I turned around the next day to swim the 200, which was right on my best time. Both of those swims were right on my best time, and I missed semis of that by like 0.06. So that was a little gutting, but I think sometimes you have to realize that like you are at the Olympics, and even though you might not like make the finals, you're pretty up there in the world. I mean, to be able to get to a meet like that and swim right on my best, honestly, you can't really ask for much more than that.
Yeah, and I think it's awesome that you were able to hit your best times both times, and so we want to congratulate you on that. Tell me what kind of goes into training though, because I think we take it for granted, right? Like we're sitting home, literally couch potatoes. I'm sitting on my couch right now. I can't swim more than 2 minutes without getting out of breath. But we get to watch you guys. This is your life's work, and you really committed to it. So what goes into training to prepare you for an Olympic meet?
Oh man, I mean, obviously it starts at whatever point in your life where you really start swimming, but I mean, the last year and a half, especially, like I've been done with school, whatever. So it has been all systems on the Olympics, and so that's also why I think when you swim and the second you're done, you don't really know how to process it, because it's all you thought about for the last 2, 3, 4, however many years. And everything goes into it. Obviously you're practicing your lifting, whatever, but I have a dog in the US where I train, and like up until the Olympics, I was not walking him that much. I was like, I need to rest my legs and things like that. So a bit stupid, but every you're kind of like thinking, oh, how will this affect my practice tomorrow and whatever. So definitely everything you do, you're thinking about it, and the nearer the meet comes, the like more prominent that is, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. All right, so you were in Rio in 2016. You were back in Tokyo 2-time. You've been to the Olympics representing the country now. How did the experience differ between Rio and Tokyo? I'm sure COVID had an impact, but even just in terms of your confidence as a swimmer, how did that feel?
It's definitely hard to explain. I feel like Rio seemed like a whole different part of my life. I feel like I went to Rio and I just kind of popped up and I was like, all right, here we go. I guess I'm swimming at the Olympics, whereas this time, like I was kind of just saying, like the last couple of years have been everything Olympics. Like I haven't just kept swimming to swim. Like I've been swimming to the Olympics and do well there. And so I've definitely grown as a swimmer. Like every time you race and things, you learn new things. And I would say age does make a difference. I think when you're a kid, you just kind of show up and like do what you kind of know to do. Whereas the last couple of years, everything I've done has been trying to get to the Olympics and do well there. So definitely different experiences in that like realm. But like I said earlier, for the most part, like you're waking up in the morning, you're getting on the bus, you're going to practice. Like it kind of is the same routine,
Yeah. All right. So what's next for you? Because you mentioned that you finished school now. We had a birdie come on the show and tell us very proudly that you had been drafted to the International Swimming League for the DC Tridents. So talk to us about what that means to be a professional swimmer and what that looks like for you.
I mean, basically what that International Swimming League is trying to do is make swimming a professional sport. Like there has been no like draft or league or anything like that, like the NBA, NFL. And so they're trying to give people an opportunity to A, make a little bit of money so that they can continue to swim, and B, create an atmosphere where like one day kids are like, hey, I want to swim for DC Trident, like things like that. And so it's that. And it's also, it'll be a good experience for me to be able to get to train with some of those people that are the best in the world and travel and things like that. So the first stint is 5 weeks in Italy. And so basically you're training through it, and every 4th or 5th day, whatever it is, depending on the schedule, you're racing 3 other teams. And so I think it'll be also good practice to get used to racing like that. Like there's no good being good at practice if you're not good at racing kind of thing. You got to learn to make sure it translates, if that makes sense.
It does. All right, Joanna, we do have to go, but before we do, will we see you in Paris 2024? What do you think?
I would definitely stay tuned. I think it'll be hard for me to say yes or no at this moment. Everything's still a little fresh from this one, but I'm taking it one thing at a time. And similarly to how this one kind of rolled up on me, Paris 2024 might also just roll up on me.
All right. Well, Joanna, we want to thank you for joining us this morning on Bahamas at Sunrise. This has done my heart so glad. Please give your my love to Mom and Daniel. This is good pre-appointment, Phil. And we just want to congratulate you. Thank you for carrying our flag into Tokyo, and for just doing an awesome job.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
You're watching Bahamas at Sunrise. We'll be right back.
The Bahamas and the world has been waging the war against COVID-19 for over a year now. In that time, much of our daily life has been irreversibly changed by lockdowns, job losses, and deaths in our families. As facial masking, hand sanitizing, and social distancing have become the new norm, the team at Doctors Hospital applauds the Bahamian public for doing your part to control and contain the spread of the COVID-19 virus. It is time to take the fight a step further. With the COVID-19 vaccine now available, we encourage Bahamians to continue the fight and do your part in getting vaccinated. Please continue to be vigilant, wear a mask, and social distance. For more information on the COVID-19 vaccine, visit www.doctorshosp.com. Doctors Hospital, trusted and best care now. Isn't your health worth it?
In the Bahamas, small business is big business. More than 90% of the businesses in the Bahamas are classified as micro, small, or medium-sized enterprises, or MSMEs. The Access Accelerator Small Business Development Center was created to serve them. We at the Access Accelerator offer a variety of services to our clients: business advisory services, training and entrepreneurial programming, mentorship and incubation, and advocacy. We offer all these services free of charge to startups and those already in business, as long as your annual turnover is less than $5 million and you have fewer than 50 employees. At the Access Accelerator, we know that MSMEs are the backbone of the Bahamian economy, and we believe when MSMEs succeed, our entire community benefits. Our mission is to equip and empower Bahamian MSMEs to further enable our sector to provide employment, create wealth, and drive development of a robust and resilient Bahamian economy. For more, check us out at accessaccelerator.org.
Well, that's going to do it for us, folks. Thank you so much for tuning into today's episode of Bahamas at Sunrise. It has been an absolute pleasure to bring it to you.
Yeah, absolutely. Very good show today, Star, and certainly enjoyed myself. I noticed Joanna was wearing the shirts that we got a couple of years ago.
You got.
We're gonna figure it out. We're gonna figure it out, Star. But listen, so good to see you. Certainly, say hello to Carlos for me. I'm gonna give him a call a little later myself.
You can call him next week when he returns from vacation. But yes, Phil, I will tell him you said hello. Everybody have a great weekend. All things going well. Phil and I will be back with you on Monday.
All right. Be safe.
Bye.
Be safe.